Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Wander and Prepare. Today I got something really cool to show you guys. This is a Knives by Nuge. This is the Bruin in a Scandi Grind in CPM 3V. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So I was kind of a late adopter to Knives by Nuge, and I'll be honest with you. So I don't really like the wicket. Not anything to do with the knife itself. I don't know. I just don't really like short blade knives, number one. So it just took me a minute. I'm a very late adopter to them. And quite honestly, there's nothing real fancy about it. But that's honestly kind of the beauty in it. So here is the Bruin by Knives by Nuge. So comes with an awesome, awesome sheath. So badger claw leather sheath. So really, really cool. And if you've never gotten a good leather sheath, always smell it. It smells really good too. So this is a Scandi Grind knife. So this is in CPM 3V, again, one of my favorite steels. But Scandi Grind basically means, it's that whole edge right there is the actual edge. It's not like a little micro edge at the end. That whole section is the edge all the way up. Pretty thick, and then it kind of swerves down to a point, so a point's going to be extra strong as well. And you can see it, so it's finished here, not finished here. So it is actually gonna be filed down just a little bit and has a 90-degree spine. And I imagine it's gonna throw some sparks. So I have not used this knife to do anything. It is literally, I've taken it out of the box, looked at it, I tied a lanyard on it, but that's it. I haven't cut a single thing with it. So let's just talk about fit and finish. You know, I've been in contact with the owner for a minute, and we talked about a couple things. And you know, I sent him a message the other day when I got this knife, because again, there's nothing, I don't know, it just didn't stand out to me as a knife that I really wanted. But man, you know, everybody just kind of seems to be crazy about them, so I just really wanted to check them out and then see how they do. So I purchased this with my own money, by the way. So this was not sent to me by the manufacturer, but it was purchased. So just to show you what comes in the box. So it comes with their couple stickers, comes with their card, and on the back it has the maker, the owner, Thomas, and here's who I've reached out to. He's very responsive, by the way, if you ever reach out to him. So I sent him a message the other day, and I told him, I said, you know, hey, I get what the raving fans are about now, you know, like I really understand it. It's a really awesome knife. Fit and finish is really nice. And then here's a little card that says it's CPM 3V and micarta on the handle. So, and then the packaging, pretty cool too. So it's a pretty cool looking box. Obviously it's an outdoor themed box, but really, really neat. So again, fit and finish, man. Like, it's just a no frills knife, which I think is kind of the beauty of it and what it's meant to be. So like the reef knife, let's just use this as an example. So that's one of my favorites. Like, that is a fit, finished, polished looking knife. This one is just an everyday workhorse of a knife, but an absolute heirloom quality, and just, you know, something that's gonna last you a lifetime, especially in CPM 3V. So it feels good in the hand. There are no hot spots. I mean, this thing, you can tell he really takes pride and passion in what they do. But really, really nice knife, and just feels really, really good in the hand. But that's only half the story, right? Let's see how it cuts. All right, so again, there it is with the badger claw sheath. That is just a super nice sheath and just looks really awesome, and that's gonna distress and look even better here in a few weeks and months. All right, so let's first do the paper test. See how it does. Let's just do that one more time. I mean, Scandi Grinds are not known to be the sliciest knife when doing things like this, so just the fact that it slices that easily, man, they did a bang up job sharpening that thing. So Scandi Grinds are great, but that edge flares out pretty quickly, and usually is great for like batoning, woodworking, you know, pulling wood off of, when you're carving, you know, really pulling chunks of wood off, but not usually the sliciest thing in the world. But man, this thing is sharp. So let's just see how it does on some cardboard. So I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but that's one of the things I'm talking about. So, you know, like a full flat grind, the edge goes from here all the way up to here. It's crazy sharp, has no problems cutting it whatsoever. Doing great. But basically the thickness of that blade and how quick that edge goes up like that, you got to put a little force when you're going down like that to do that. That's just kind of one of the things you get with Scandi Grind knives. Nothing against the knife, just the difference between the edge geometry and how it's going to cut. But when it comes to most other things other than cardboard, I think this thing's going to be quite the performer. I mean, rips through that with ease. So I say it's not slicey, but again, the thing is crazy sharp. So let's see how it does when trying to cut through on a flat surface like this. Holy crap. I gotta do that one more time. That was really awesome. Like, this probably sounds weird, like when I say that, because I know I've said that a couple times on video, but like, when you cut as many things as I do, that's me, not the knife where it kind of hung up right there, is just those few fibers. Like, when you cut something and it goes through it very easily, after all the other knives that you tried, you're just like, whoa, like that was really cool. That was definitely something different, and that's definitely what I'm experiencing with this one. So far this thing is pretty amazing. All right, so let's see what else we can cut with it. Another thing this knife is really good for is, honestly, it's not too big to EDC. It's probably bigger than what most people want to EDC, but it's a 3.5 inch blade. I don't know the overall dimensions of it, but deep carry pocket sheath. Now you would, this particular setup, you'd have to carry it on your belt. But if you got a different style sheath that had like a ulti clip or something on there, this thing is not too big to EDC in my opinion. So I think it's great. 3.5 inch blade. Most of my actual pocket knives are around a 3 inch blade, or 3.5. So I think it would be great for that. So let's see how it does with some zip ties. So this is smallest duty zip tie I got. I think this one's around 50 pounds. I mean, makes easy work of that. Let's just fold it over. See how easy it cuts though with that. Man, super, super easy. All right, let's step it up. Yeah, I think this one goes up about 100, 150. Crazy easy through that one. And I think this one steps it up to 200. No problem whatsoever. Now we're getting into the big boys. I mean, that one was crazy easy. No problem whatsoever. Now this one, I think, is 330 pounds. Little pressure, but like, holy crap, like it just, once it starts cutting and you put enough pressure for it to cut, it just goes through there with ease. I mean, that one's kind of unique. All right, now this is the heaviest duty zip tie I could find. So it is just a little over 400 pound brake capacity. And it is literally, it's got those little marks on both sides and super thick. So this one, I'm expecting it to struggle with a little, but honestly, I don't know. It may cut really well too, so let's see. All right, a little bit of pressure you had to put on it to get through that one, but man, come up and look at that clean cut. Like, that is super clean cut right there. So really awesome for any kind of EDC task you could think of. And again, get a different pocket clip or pocket sheath for it, one with the ulti clip on it. And this is absolutely an EDC size knife too. All right, let's see how it does with some cordage. So this is the Survivor Titan, or Survivor cord rather, and it's kind of hard to cut because it's got a metal snare in there. See if you can see that little metal snare. But that makes it pretty hard to cut, and I don't think it's gonna have any issue, but we're gonna find out. Okay, so check that out. Let me do that one more time. Find the side that still has my snare in it. There we go. All right, let's cut it one more time. There you go. That was a better test. So sometimes it is me, not the knife. And that was definitely one of those scenarios that it was me, not the knife. So let's see how it does trying to cut it on a flat surface. No issues whatsoever. All right, so here's some standard duty cord, not very strong at all. Don't imagine it's going to have any issue, and none whatsoever. Man, I could do that all day long. That's just fun and feels really good cutting through it as well. All right, so hung up a little bit, but that's not me. That's the uneven surface I'm on. So easily handles tasks like this, no problem whatsoever. All right, let's see how it does on some clothesline and some reinforced radiator hose. So first, let's do the clothesline. So this is plastic clothesline. Doesn't have metal in it. It just has the little fibers in there to help strengthen it. But I imagine, oh yeah, goes through that with absolute ease. Now there you go. This is a perfect example of where the Scandi Grind just really excels. You see how most of the time when this is on the cutting table and I'm actually cutting through this, you see how it's just flying off of there? That's because that edge just thickens out so quick. That's what makes that fly off like that, but just crazy sharp and cuts through that with ease. All right, so let's see how it does with the reinforced radiator hose. I'm really curious with this one because the edge geometry, I don't know if it's gonna struggle with this one or not, but we're gonna find out. All right. Yep, that's what I figured. That Scandi Grind, not really meant for tasks like this, but you roll it just a little bit and it does get through there. Now, conversely, when I go through here, I think it's going to make this one very easy. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. Because again, this one quite a bit thicker and cutting it on the, not the edge of it like that, and it just really splits it apart as I'm pushing the blade down. It does a really fantastic job of splitting through that. All right, let's see. I think it would do a little better maybe if I roll it. So let's see how it does. But that's one thing the Scandi Grind struggles with just a little bit, kind of getting started on the piece real thick like that and kind of malleable like rubber. Although if it was real thick, hard and wood, man, it would go through there and split it pretty easily. But pretty awesome. All right, let's go ahead and check that edge out too. So that edge looks really thick and really strong, but let's find out. So there you go, got it a little dirty, but super strong edge. And then nothing I've done has messed up that, or sorry, tip rather, not edge, but nothing I've done has messed up that edge either. All right, let's see what else we can get into. All right, so we got some rope here. So this is just some standard jute twine. And then we have the really heavy duty strength polypropylene rope. So let's first try the jute twine. I really don't know how the Scandi Grind is going to do with this one, so I'm actually really curious about this one too, to see how it's going to cut through it. Way better than I thought it would, but man, like that went through that like butter. I mean, that's really hard to, hopefully the camera can pick that up, but that was really satisfying to cut that. So, all right, so this is the polypropylene rope. Got this from Tractor Supply, and when I got it, none of the knives I had could cut it. None of the knives they had could cut it. They had to use a chain cutter to cut this. So we'll see what happens with the knives by Nuge Bruin. Whoa. So that's interesting. I did not expect that at all. Like that may be the easiest and cleanest I think I have ever gotten through this rope. Like that is just incredible. Like that's interesting. So I love Scandi Grinds. It's just the look that I love. I don't have a ton of experience with them, but holy crap, I think I'm starting to really like them. But that was an amazing cut through that. So that is just, that's incredible. All right, let's see what else we can get into. So one thing I think this knife would really excel at is any kind of task around count. So whether you're, any kind of outdoor task for that matter, so whether you're trying to feather stick, baton, start a fire, I think this is just an excellent all-around knife for that. So let's just see how it does with the fine task. And I'm not very good at feather sticking, so let's just kind of see how I do with this one. Let's see, I think this might be a pretty good edge. And yes, I know I'm supposed to feather stick close to the end, but my stick is not great, so I'm just trying to show off that it will absolutely get you some good little feathers there. There you go, let's just do it down close. So one of the things Scandis are really good at is taking off big chunks of wood. So you gotta just be a little careful when you're doing your feather sticking with this one, not to rake all of them off. But I told you guys this thing had a 90-degree spine, and you can tell that they took a grinder to it and made that 90-degree spine. So let's just see how it does with scraping too. Get this end of it. So take you a minute, but you can see it will definitely, oh there you look at that too. So you can see exactly how it did the little scraping there. Gave you some fine little shavings. All right, so very interesting. I want to see if I can actually get a little sparkle on that and see what happens. But let's go ahead and try batoning and see how it does with that. So it's CPM 3V, so there's no reason I'm concerned about the edge at all. But let's just go ahead and see how the batoning does. So I got my whammer made a few weeks ago. I mean, no problem whatsoever with that one. All right, let's see how it does with throwing some sparks. So first, let's just throw a few sparks, and I think the 90-degree spine is going to be pretty phenomenal in this one, the way it feels, but let's just see. Oh yeah. I just had to get a good spot that wasn't coated. But those sparks like crazy. But let's see if it can start a fire. I'm very curious if I can actually get a fire started with that part. Let's just try it. I don't think I can hold it steady enough. No. All right, let's abandon that and just do it the old-fashioned way. All right, so we got some fire starters here from Blackbeard Fire, and if you're not familiar with those, you should definitely check these things out. I was actually out with my daughter's Girl Scout troop the other day, and they did this little hike, and at the end of the hike they were going to do s'mores, and the ranger there, it would rain the day before, so she had asked the girls to go pick some tinder, and most of it was kind of wet. So she had some paper and some hand sanitizer that she was trying to get it lit with, but just really wasn't staying lit very long and getting anything to light or get the fire started. So I happened to have a couple of these in my bag and went and gave her, and she was able to get it started right up. But let's see how it does. I mean, pretty easy. So super awesome when it comes to camp task, but man, I just don't really know what this knife could not be good for. So you got to understand the Scandi Grind, know what you're getting, and know that that's what you want. But if you're an outdoorsman, a Scandi Grind is just an excellent choice for a knife. But man, I think the knives by Nuge, like no frills, but like just one heck of a knife. And I mean, absolute tank. For the size, man, like there's no way this thing would not outlast my reef knife or anything else. It's just a no frills knife, which again, it doesn't need to be. Like a lot of people, when you buy a reef knife or something like that, they don't really want to use it. Well, this is absolutely a user. So check it out, Knives by Nuge. You make some absolutely incredible knives. They feel great in the hand. The Knives by Nuge Bruin, perfect size for me. It's just kind of that small do-it-all knife, and I just think an excellent Scandi knife to own. So go ahead and check it out. The Knives by Nuge Bruin. So just remember, as we're out there wandering and preparing, let's make sure we do so by faith and not by sight. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching.